Now,
Hello, dragons.
hello there, you dragons. I be Captain Graybeard today. I was gonna think of a different name, but I'm gray, so R be Graybeard. But do you ever wonder why we pirates, so we say R? That's because most of us didn't go to school very long, and it's about as far as we ever got in the alphabet. So everything is R, which is kind of handy if your name is Ron, like my alias is. Well, we're here for our Halloween special today, and I decided I would start out with a little ghosty story from the pirate age. That's right. One of the most famous pirates of all times, Mr. Blackbeard. Unfortunately, he didn't live long enough to have a gray beard like me, but I want to show you a picture of me sort of hiding behind me. You ready? Holy mackerel. You know, I had a middle school teacher who looked just like that way back when. So you guys are lucky. No, in actuality, it was a elementary school teacher, and he really did look like that, minus the flames coming out of his head. But this guy here, his original name was Edward Teach. That's right. And I'm going to back off for a second to get a good look at those wicked eyes he had. And he was a pirate who haunted the coasts of Carolina. I figured that would be a good place for a story because lots of you guys go out to, the Carolinas and that area for vacation. And actually, his hangout was in the Outer Banks, a place called Okeechobee Island. And he had a special place there. It was called Teach's Hole. Now, he became known as the infamous Blackbeard because of his wild look and the fact that he did tie gunpowder fuses in his hair when he went out raiding. So you can imagine if you were a ship sailing by and this pirate ship came by and this weird looking captain with flames come out of his head, probably scare you pretty good. And that's exactly what happened. Because, rumor has it Blackbeard was really a notoriously violent and dangerous fellow, but historically it's proven he never hurt anybody. Really. They were just all so scared of him, they just surrendered straight off. So he got away with plundering across the Carolinas for decades until finally there was one governor, and he sent his lieutenant, whose name was John Maynard. Now, that's a name that sounds familiar for this area. And he said, well, John, we got to put an end to this Blackbeard guy because he's scaring everybody. He's taking all the money that, we could use, in taxes and stuff. So Maynard surprised him because, the captain wouldn't usually fight, but he pretended to be, a merchant ship. And when Blackbeard came upon him, they opened fire on him. They captured the captain and made quick work of him. This nice old guy standing behind me, young guy right here, they hung him up, and without a word edgewise, they chopped his head off, hung it up to the side of the ship, and they took his body and threw it into the cold sea. Now, here's where ghost stories started, right? Because Mr. Old Blackbeard wasn't very happy about being a headless Blackbeard. So he decided he was going to spend time searching for his head. And he still does. Yes, he does. If you go to Teach's Hole, if you go there, on Okeechobee Island, especially on rainy days, you can hear the wind carrying his name. I want my head. Give me back my head. And if you get really, really lucky, you'll see his headless body swimming in the waves, coming up to your ship, coming up to the beach, coming up to get you, coming up for his head. Think about that the next time you're out there in North Carolina, especially on a rainy day, and you're too near the water, especially if you're near the water alone. Yes, boys and girls. Good old Blackbeard and a good old ghost story from the past. Spooky. And remember, they say all ghost stories have some fact and some fact to them. So who knows? You may just one day run into the ghost of Blackbeard himself, and hopes you'll have to tell about it. Now you're going out on another adventure here pretty soon, Halloween, and crewmate Ashley here has got some really, really good stuff for you to look at. Some really cool stuff for whether you go out or you stay home. But if you do go out, boys, and I was going to say boys and girls, you're not boys and girls anymore. You're young people. If you go out, young people, be sure to only travel with your family. Don't get big clumps of people. That's how you go and spread this other stuff that's worse than any ghost story you could find. So, keep yourselves safe. And if you can do it, please do what they say. Wear a mask under your mask. I know that's not going to be too comfortable, but those little masks that you're going to buy in the stores and costume stuff isn't going to really be effective against spreading disease. So, we want you to have the most fun ever for this Halloween and whatever other kind of holiday stuff is coming up in this totally new and different kind of world we're living in for a little bit. And I think that maybe because it is different, you might have more fun this year than you've ever had before. Right, Ashley?
Yes, it's going to force us to come up with different ideas and do some things different, but we can still make it fun. Different isn't always bad.
Arr.
All right. Show some things I've got picked out.
Arr.
I guess that means yes. All right, here's a chocolate chip cookie. And made it look like spiders. They said when you bake them, they would come out and the chocolate chips are still warm, to take a toothpick and kind of spread it out like that to make 8 little spider legs. Don't know if it works, but just an idea I found.
I'd like it right now.
Uh-huh. And here, the doable one is pizza. And they made this look like spiders are sitting on it, either with cutting the pepperoni or looks like peppers or the olives. And just put them on there for little spider legs.
Oh, cool. Alfred, what in the name of
hot dogs cut in a way and added ketchup. So that looks kind of creepy.
Oh yeah, leave it on that for a minute while I savor this one. I've got that's better than making people walk the plank. Oh man, you got a couple extras of those for the other crewmates?
This is kitty litter cake. This picture is actually a kitty litter cake that me and my kids made a while back. And you actually eat it, and it was actually really good, and it really looks like kitty litter. You take cakes, make a cake and pudding and cookies and crumble it all up, and then on top we have Tootsie Rolls that we melted in the microwave just a little bit, and some like little Debbie brownies that we kind of smushed up and shaped just right.
That's definitely interesting, guys. Can you make a birthday cake out of that too?
You could have it for a birthday. Yep. And when you go out, you still have to wear a mask. I heard on the radio this morning the scariest costumes are going to be the ones without a mask. So
yeah,
we still need to wear a mask. And even if we do go trick-or-treating, which is open here in Louisa, it might look a little bit different. I don't think this is actually possible, but it looked cool.
Yeah, that would be.
Candy Blaster 3000. But other ways that we can actually pass out candy. And somebody made this out of PVC pipe. And they'll just push the candy down the candy slide. Just let it slide down their candy buckets. Or if you don't have that many stairs just have the one on the back up, and this one they've decorated with the skeletons holding it. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that one.
And other ideas, they said they don't want us to be holding a bowl and putting it in everybody's bucket like we usually go trick-or-treating. They said somehow have it sitting somewhere with a sign that says, please just take one. So really, please just take one. We don't even need to get as much candy as we're accustomed to getting. But this they just clipped to, looks like some fake vines they got hanging there. If you got a fence, we can hang it on the fence. Or here, they taped them to sticks and stuck them in the ground. So trick-or-treaters can still come and pick one.
Or 17.
Just one. Gotta make it fun for everybody. Another idea, besides going trick-or-treating, as you might have heard, you've been booed. You just gather candy or stuff or whatever you want and put it in a box or a bucket or a bag and just write, you've been booed, and then you put it on your friend or family's doorstep and then knock on the door and run away, because we are social distancing, but you're still giving them something that says you've been booed. And then the idea of this is to tell them to in turn boo somebody else when they can.
Yeah. Yeah, this is really popular this year. This one here.
The cycle of giving, but we're still being distant. So
yeah.
No, it's good. And that's all I got of those.
I still like the fingers.
Yeah, those are weird, but it was just hot dogs just cut just the right way.
Yeah, and they sort of scrape off one part to make it look like the fingernail.
Yeah.
Arr.
Yeah.
I think people could have a lot of fun with that.
And other ideas, you can have a blind candy with your family. Just line everybody up and.
Now that would be fun because especially for they got the moms and dads to actually try some of the stuff that you
Guys,
eat.
and guess what you're eating?
Some of those things that make your tongue want to fall out of your head. Like some stuff my boy brings home. It
cut out. So I couldn't. I didn't hear what you said on that. But hopefully,
some stuff my boy brings home is just darn awful nasty, but he loves it.
Yeah.
And I get to taste it also.
Yeah. My house has done a blindfold chip taste test. We would get like all the different flavors of chips and then take turns giving them to each other, and we got to try to guess which one we're eating. So it's fun family stuff you can get together and do with your family.
It sounds like fun. I know I've got a bunch of stuff planned too, and I think we're just going to have a grand old time this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's scavenger hunts that you can find online, and you can just go out and do them in your car, or you can there's some you can just do in the house. You can set something like that up for a younger sibling in the house would be fun.
And just some lights out and some candles and some good old scary stories too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With a scary laugh.
Yeah, with a scary laugh.
I mean, yeah, evil laugh. That's what it's called, evil laugh.
Yeah.
You had your pirate evil laugh earlier. So I want to give away some top club points. So who all guessed that Dr. Ron would dress up like a pirate? I saw Emily and Addison and Ashton guess that. And I also want to give some points to Cody and Shelby, who guessed that he would do a plague doctor. He is not, but that was just for remembering what we did the other week in Top Club. And I got 2 more to give for just having awesome answers. Caitlin said, I'm not sure, when the question was, what will Ron be for our next Top Club? What will he dress up as? She said, I'm not sure. He's an unpredictable guy. The truest sentence ever said. So,
yes.
So Caitlin gets points for that. And Austin guessed that he would be Einstein. And I think you could totally pull that off with your hair all up wild and stuff. So points for all of them.
That's great.
Yep.
What-
All right. So for questions here, maybe what will you all be doing to celebrate Halloween safely? Or a different idea of something that we could do. And maybe what's your favorite part of Halloween? What part do you like the best? Or if you're not celebrating, what's other plans that you could do?
Yeah, so good questions, crewmate. Good questions.
Thank you, Captain.
So again, we want you to be safe and have a good time. And remember, right after Halloween's over, the 1st of the, November is the El Dia de la Muertos. It's the Mexican Day of the Dead celebrations. If you don't know anything about that, you might want to take a look at it. Check on YouTube or something. That's where everybody gets dressed up like skeletons down in Mexico, and they actually talk to dead people. Yeah, it's spooky as all get out, but they have a lot of fun. So,
is that the movie Coco?
Huh?
Is that what the movie Coco was about?
Yeah, the movie Coco. Yep.
That was a cute movie.
Yeah. So if you want to do it, don't. Halloween is not the end of the spooky time. You got November 1st, November 2nd, the All Saints Days, and again, Mexico, El Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, and you might find that very, very interesting. That's where all that those sugar skull stuff comes from.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well,
don't forget we're working on our book. That was the other thing.
Keep the book going, and they are telling me that the guys are refusing to sweep the poop deck. I'm going to have to throw somebody overboard for this one because the captain ain't doing that. That's for sure. You guys all take good care of yourselves.
Bye.
Bye.